Okay, so let's solve the lab. So as we discussed previously, you already have these three indicators of compromise, but the issue was that these three were inconclusive for ChatGPT to correctly identify the strain of ransomware. And then we discussed that we have the log file, and you need to prompt ChatGPT to analyze the log file for exfiltration attempt and identify the destination IP address if so. So that's our first step. We're going to craft a prompt and we're going to ask ChatGPT to analyze these log lines and see if there was a data exfiltration attempt, and if so, to which IP address. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm doing an investigation for a possible ransomware infection. It's always nice to give ChatGPT some context so that it knows exactly what to look for. Can you analyze the following log and identify if there was a data exfiltration attempt, and if so, to which IP address? Now, IP address is very important because a lot of these threat actors or malicious actors have well-known IP addresses which are already logged with threat intelligence platforms. Now, we have two options. Either we can directly copy these lines from here, or if you want, you can also directly upload the log file which I have attached in the resources section of the lecture. For ease of use, we'll directly provide them here. Quick tip, if you do Shift plus Enter, you can move to the next line just to make things a bit more formatted. So let's see what ChatGPT finds out. So there you go. Yes, based on your log analysis, there is a strong indication of a data exfiltration attempt, and it appears that a data exfiltration was directed to the following IP address. So this is the destination IP address. And why this is suspicious? Because this is a well-known binary, and over 2 MB of data was sent to the external IP address, and this IP address is also suspicious because it's not a well-known content distribution network or domain name system resolution server. So finally, this is the IP address that we got. So what we're going to do now is that in addition to these three indicators of compromise, we're going to add this fourth one indicating that possible data exfiltration was done to this IP address, and then prompt ChatGPT to see if we can find out the correct strain of ransomware. Okay, now let's move on to the next step of practice activity, which is to prompt ChatGPT to identify the ransomware based on the indicators of compromise given above. So these three plus the indicator of compromise that we have extracted from the log file. Okay, so let's do that. So I'm investigating a possible ransomware infection. So once again, giving ChatGPT a bit of context. Given the following indicators of compromise, what ransomware or threat actor could be involved? So just a point to note here that we are almost sure that it's ransomware, but we are not 100% sure. So we also specified could be something else as well. Please include your reasoning so that we have confidence about the accuracy of identification. This is very important because we don't want to give indicators of compromise and get one final answer. We want to understand the thought process as to how ChatGPT arrived at this conclusion. This is something known as chain of thought prompting. And it's very important because not only we want to get the final answer, like the final diagnosis to what ransomware it is, but we also want to understand why ChatGPT thinks so. Because correctly diagnosing the ransomware is very important. Now let's press Shift plus Enter and give these indicators of compromise. So we'll first share these three. Okay. Let me just format them a little bit. So this would be the first one. This would be the second one. And this would be the third one. Okay. And then we have the fourth one, which we got here. This one. Okay. So let me draft that as well. So fourth would be. Now let's see what ChatGPT comes up with. There you go. Based on the indicators of compromise you have provided, it's highly likely that the Lockbit ransomware family is responsible for the infection. Now let's see the reasoning behind it. Number one, encrypted files are using this extension, which is sort of like known for Lockbit. Second reason, the presence of this binary or this executable. So it's a process, it's a suspicious process which is running in the background, and it's an extremely strong indicator of the Lockbit ransomware. Moreover, the name also contains the name Lockbit. in Linux, usually these variants run under temp or var temp because it's a temporary deployment. Third, ransom note. Obviously, this indicates it's a ransomware. But fourth is also very important. The exfiltration to IP address 185.216.71.200. Now, this IP is associated with malicious activity, including prior reports linked to Lockbit infrastructure or affiliates, based on open source threat intel feeds. So, based on threat intelligence that we already have, ChatGPT was able to make an accurate diagnosis. Now, it also says Lockbit 3.0 and later versions commonly use double extortion. That is, they steal data before encrypting it so that they can also sort of like sell the data onwards. So, conclusion, it's Lockbit ransomware with very high confidence. Okay, so that concludes our lab. Thank you.